Hello everyone, welcome to the Tathastu and welcome to our daily current affairs MCQs wherein we are going to solve multiple questions based on multiple topics. Okay, let's get started. This is being presented by me. My name is Khushboo. I guess that audio must be good right now. So let's get started, but before that a little bit of information related to the courses of the Tathastu. So here you can see these are the courses which the Tathastu is running as of now. MSLV, NCERT module, philosophy optional and PSLV is going to be launched very soon. You can get the details of these courses on tathastuics.com or you can call on these numbers, and even you can visit our office also for the detailing and all. Everything you will be, your questions, your queries will be resolved here, right? Now let's get started with the very first question of the day, and the question is related to Neolithic culture. Consider the following statements with respect to Neolithic culture. The very first one is, this marks the ultimate phase in technological advancement among ancient humans. Second is, the Neolithic era succeeded the initial phase of metal tool usage and came before the era of stone tools fashioned through chipping. Third is, among the Neolithic archaeological sites in India are Mehergarh, Khajaguda and Payampalli. So you have to find out that how many of these statements are correct over here. Okay. Neolithic, lithic means stones and neo means the new age. So here the answer is option B, that is only two statements are correct. Second statement is incorrect over here. Why it is in news? Because recently Khajaguda, this is a place wherein we have found Neolithic remains which date back to 2000 BCE. So this place becomes really very important, right? And the Neolithic term also and the everything related to Neolithic also becomes really very important. So the remains of Neolithic remains has been found over there at Khajaguda, and where it is near Lanko Hills, which dates back to 2000 BCE. Now when it comes to this Neolithic period is also known as the New Stone Age. From the name itself you can find it out, lithic, stone, okay, and neo means new, so New Stone Age. Now what does it represent? It actually represents that among prehistoric humans only, this particular age from among the prehistoric humans. Now here the term prehistoric, now what do you understand by this term prehistoric? History starts, the history word actually denotes that from this particular period we have learned writing, reading, everything. So you can basically find the written sources of those period. Okay, so those are considered as the history. So there is prehistory and history. In order to frame the, in order to know the complete details of whatever happened during this history period, which actually we considered as the history, though for those we have the written sources that can be in the form of anything, inscription or whatever, but there are, right? But when it comes to the prehistory thing, we don't have any written information. Whatever we are finding, according to that we are making, finding out that okay, these kind of situations might have happened at that time. They might be using this particular cutlery for bowl or the bowl for the food, in order to serve food, in order to consume food. These kind of pots they might be using for the storage purpose or just for the decoration purpose. We just like guess that these kind of things might be there, right? So prehistoric humans, it actually represents the prehistoric humans. The final stage of cultural evolution, this is actually considered as the final stage of the cultural evolution and technological advancement also. Okay, so the Stone Age is actually divided among three parts, and that is actually being done on the basis of stones usage. So this when in this Neolithic period, during this Neolithic period, they started using very sharp, small stone tools they started using. Okay, so that is why it is considered as the technologically advanced as compared to the previous one. It was actually characterized by different things, different features. Stone tools are shaped through the polishing and grinding. The polishing and grinding that actually becomes really very fine and good. Then dependence on domesticated plants and animals, they started consuming, or they started actually growing things, okay, on their own itself, on their own. So domesticated plants and the animals, they started depending on them. So so the people earlier, they were basically they were roaming from one place to another place. They just keep on moving from one place to another place in the search of food. But later on they started growing also, and hence came the IVC. Establishment of permanent villages at the settlements started during this period only, and the emergence of crafts like that of the pottery and weaving also started. The initial stages basically. And here you can see the Neolithic site which has been found. So over 15 rock shelters have been found as the Neolithic sites over there. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding super blue moon. The very first statement is the super blue moon results from the simultaneous convergence of 3 lunar events: a full moon, a super moon, and a blue moon. Second statement is a super moon occurs when the moon is either passing through or in close proximity to its perigee, coinciding with a full lunar phase. You have to find out that which of these statements are correct, okay, and accordingly choose your answer. Here the moon actually doesn't appear in blue in color, okay. So super blue moon, this event happened yesterday, so that is the reason why it is in news, and you can find a video on this super blue moon also on Tathastu, so you can watch that. Now super blue moon, how you can define this thing? It actually represents a very rare celestial event which actually results from the convergence of 3 distinct lunar occurrences, and that is full moon, a super moon, and a blue moon. Now when it comes to this blue moon is a term which actually describes the occurrence of a second full moon, and that is actually happening within that month only. So it means that within 1 month there are 2 full moon, okay. Single calendar month, which is an infrequent event which actually doesn't happen. In 1 month there will be only 1 Purnima, full moon, okay, only for 1 full moon. But in this scenario what happens, within 1 month only you will find 2. So 2 full moon event. So that is the reason why it actually becomes very important event, as full moons typically happen once a month. Now in instances where a season experiences 4 full moons, the third full moon within that season is designated as the blue moon. So what happens if within that season, if in one season only, if there are 4 full moons, okay, then the third one will be considered as the super blue moon. So the name actually has been given like that, okay. Now the next question. Recently Johannesburg Declaration was in news. It is related to the very first statement, broadening the BRICS membership. Second is amplifying the unified representation of developing nations in the World Trade Organization platform. Third is offering agricultural subsidies to African countries. And the fourth one is enhancing the bilateral ties between India and South Africa. So which of these are correct? So this was actually in news, BRICS. So it is actually related to that only, right? Answer is option A. So Delhi must look out for geopolitical agenda with that of the Chinese characteristics. So here it is China is actually creating a lot of problem for us, and this has been done multiple times, before also. This is not something new. So it is a kind of strategy which is being used by a rival country, or you can say enemy country, or you can say the country which is actually trying to oppose you in many seasons, in many reasons. Season bola to isliye. Okay, in many reasons. Okay, so that is the reason why China is always creating a kind of problem for India. So recently we have heard about this thing, that we read it and we did it in our DNA also, that the BRICS membership has been expanded. So recently BRICS summit, it actually concluded in Johannesburg. The group's membership expanded significantly, growing from 5 to 11 nations. Okay, so earlier there were 5 only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only countries. Now this BRICS is consists of 11 nations. Now under this expansion only, they have welcomed 4 Gulf and West Asian countries. Those are Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE. And apart from this, Ethiopia and Argentina from Africa and South America as well. Okay, so these are the people who have recently joined them, and this declaration done, the decision which this BRICS people actually took during this summit, which was held in Johannesburg. So hence this has been called as the Johannesburg Declaration. Okay, so it is as simple as that. Now the last question of the day is, consider the following statements with respect to intergovernmental science policy platform on biodiversity and ecosystem services. The very first one is, it is an autonomous intergovernmental organization formed during the COP21 conference. Second is, its primary role is to furnish policymakers with impartial scientific evaluations concerning the status of understanding regarding the Earth's biodiversity and ecosystems. Third is, importantly, it operates independently and is not affiliated with the United Nations. IPBES. So, consider these statements, think thoroughly, read thoroughly and answer your question. So your answer is option A, that is the 1 and 2. Here the incorrect, here the 2 and 3 was supposed to be the answer. Okay, the C, right? The C. Invasive alien species in focus at 10th plenary of IPBES. Invasive alien species, the species which actually does not belong to that particular area, but they go over there and invade it. This autonomous organization draws inspiration from both the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, MEA. From both of them, it takes the inspiration, and this organization take the whatever the decision they are supposed to take. India holds membership in this particular entity. So India is the part of this particular entity over here. Okay. Now, it should be noted over here that it actually operates independently. This is something which is very important from prelims perspective. It operates independently and it is not under the umbrella of the United Nations, because whenever we read about any kind of international organization, we actually feel that that must be under UN, but it is not. Okay, another important point. And in 2013, the United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP, it was granted authorization by UNEP Governing Council following a request from the IPBES. They wanted that kind of authorization in order to offer the Secretariat support to IPBES. So they are providing a kind of support to them, but it's not like that they are the part of UN. Okay. So keep this thing in your mind. These are very minute details but very important ones. Okay. So this is it related to our current affairs MCQs. I hope that you people are enjoying it and voice is also clear, hopefully. See you in the next video. Bye bye, take care and have a great time.